to introduce an elephant expert, if ever there was one. His name is Ed Stewart. He is the co-founder and co-director of PAWS. And I want to read just a few of his qualifications. He co-founded PAWS 25 years ago. It's a nonprofit organization operating 3 sanctuaries. PAWS is internationally recognized as a leader in wildlife protection. Ed consults on elephant care and housing around the world. He's known worldwide. He developed training programs for standards of care for elephants and other captive wildlife. He oversees daily operations at PAWS sanctuaries. He designs world-renowned natural wildlife habitats. And he coordinated the complete transfer of Maggie from the Alaska Zoo to PAWS. And given the opportunity, of course, he will coordinate the move that Lucy makes to the PAWS sanctuary. It is a pleasure to introduce him. Here's Ed Stewart.
Well, you described me a lot better than I would have described me, but I've been with the elephants for about 30 years, 33 years. We've seen a big debate in the last, especially 15 years, over elephants, how they should be kept, how they should live, and there is no state of the art for keeping an elephant in captivity. In Sri Lanka, in India, even there, they're under a lot of pressure, even in the wild. So times are pretty dim for elephants. But in captivity, there's a spectrum of how you should keep an elephant. There are decent places, and then there are places where it just seems like an obvious place not to keep an elephant. Alaska was one of those places, and I think Edmonton is probably even colder than Anchorage, and it's probably true for Edmonton also. You can't match what an elephant should have in captivity as far as what they should have in the wild. They don't have the social network. Even the elephants we get are dysfunctional individual elephants, usually from either a zoo or a circus. We have to work hard sometimes at socializing them. We make sure that everything goes smoothly and well, and the elephant is happy as far as we can tell. We do our best. We have a 24-hour keeper that watches interactions with the elephants. We take it very, very seriously, and nobody goes home at 5 o'clock and leaves the elephant in a barn overnight with not a person, not an elephant, not a dog, not a cat, nothing inside that's alive with the elephant. In looking, in reviewing all the material about Lucy, I think the biggest difference that our elephants have and that Lucy doesn't have is the ability to just rub against another elephant. When you bathe elephants, they rub against each other. They have incredible joy just sniffing each other, just rumbling to each other. At one time, I was a believer that you could keep an individual elephant by itself with the people that the elephant loves, and maybe get away with it, maybe meet some kind of a quality of life. But after Maggie came from Alaska, I can't believe that anymore. She was a very sick elephant. She was a pretty sad elephant. Keepers loved her, but I think at some point they, just like in Detroit, at the Detroit Zoo, they sent us 2 elephants. I think they loved her enough to let her go. And we all love our elephants. Every zookeeper in the world loves their elephants, I hope. But sometimes you have to sacrifice your own love and your own pleasure and your own possessiveness for the elephant, and hopefully that when Lucy gets healthy, and I've never stolen anybody's elephant. I've never come into town and taken an elephant away without somebody at the zoo saying it's okay for the elephant to go to your place. In the Alaska case, we had, I think, 5 places that the Alaska Zoo was looking at, including Disney, the Salt Lake City Zoo, the Tampa Zoo, and a private individual. And they came and they visited and we talked to them, and I said we would give her a home if they see fit to send her down, and they did. And we've loved every minute of having Maggie there and seeing her development. We concentrate on circuses, we don't concentrate on zoos. This is very unusual for us, for me, to be at a place and be talking about a zoo. The things that I worry about with Lucy is they have a bullhook. They use a bullhook on her when they handle her. And I've seen Lucy with the keepers. Lucy's really good with the keepers. She loves those keepers, and obviously they love her. And but it's hard to say you love something when you're standing there with a weapon that you can't get on an airplane with. You couldn't come into this hotel with it. It's obsolete, really. There are other ways of working with elephants and training elephants, and it's on its way out. And if nothing else comes out of this today, I hope they throw their bullhooks in the river and just trust their love with Lucy. We've had, we've worked at Detroit Zoo, San Francisco Zoo, LA Zoo. We have had people from Philadelphia Zoo. Last couple of weeks ago, we had the head elephant keeper from Disney in Florida come. I mean, we're not anti-zoo. We don't go out of our way to attack zoos, but we do look to better the lives of elephants in any situation. We actually, in the last month, worked with the San Diego Zoo on the rescue of 2 circus elephants, and so we have a pretty good track record. And if anybody, I talked to Pat Lampe from the Alaska Zoo, the director of the Alaska Zoo. I said, hey, I'm going to Edmonton. It's turning into another Anchorage. Everybody's upset. Do you have any hints for me? Anything I can do when I go there to not be too combative? And he said, well, if anybody wants to call me and ask him about his relationship and how he worked with PAWS on the relocation of Maggie, that he'd be glad to answer any questions. So his name's Pat Lampe, the director of the Alaska Zoo. Actually, the only person I've ever heard criticize Maggie's move to PAWS from the Alaska Zoo was the director of the Edmonton Zoo. She said that she didn't like the way the Maggie situation was handled. I told Pat Lampe that, and he couldn't believe it. I mean, he couldn't even conceive of what she was talking about. I can show a little bit of a video of a place where Lucy could go if anybody chooses to at any point when she's healthy.